All right.
Hey everybody, it's T-Style. I've got Tanman over here with us. So I've interviewed you before. You've hosted a bunch of shows that I've seen out here.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You kind of like saved the show tonight, kind of like jumping in and
Yeah, I mean,
getting some hosting done. Yeah.
the guy, I don't know how it happened. I just wanted to come out and support. Just to like turn up this weekend for just a little bit for my birthday, but he got a little too shifty, so he was like, yo, come host, and I was like, why not, because I introduced for LM. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of shows. I've been doing a lot of shows outside of Massachusetts, of course. I just went on my first mini tour a few weekends ago with Gibby Sites. Shout out to Gibby Sites. We did we were supposed to do a 4-day tour, but we did a 3-day tour. And one was in Manchester, New Hampshire, one was in Revere Beach at Sammy's Patio, and then one was in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So that was pretty dope. And then I've also hosted shows for like Young Z, Raw Digger, as far as recently. Mainly just Young Z, but I've done Raw Digger before. We've done Michael Marshall, like I said, Lord Banks, Little Easy E, some of Busy Bones artists. That was pretty cool. As far as future events too, I am gonna be in a small part in an independent horror movie called Crazy Wabbit, not Rabbit, but Wabbit. Don't tell me why that title is, but I guess it is, Hopefully I'm not the Crazy Wabbit, but it is what it is. But also, I got another show coming up too.
Well, hold on. I'm going to stop you right there.
I got
you. You're going to be in an independent movie?
Yes, I'm going to be in an independent movie.
But you don't know what you're doing in it yet?
Not yet. They just said, hey, you want to part in a movie? And I was like, sure.
You're going to have to keep us posted on that.
Well, I connect with a lot of people. I know a lot of people in that does a lot of independent films or just been in film and stuff like that. Shout out to Diaz. He's one of my big inspirations that got me into the local scene, especially the hip hop scene, along with 9 Mills. They taught me a lot about the industry and hip hop music. Especially Tier, because he's kind of into the stuff that I'm into, so he's probably one of my biggest motivations too. And then how I really got started into the hip hop world was I started with acting, and I grew up with a disability called cerebral palsy. Doctors told me I would never walk someday or talk. The first time I started walking I was 4, and the first time I started talking was 7. And now I never shut up, surprisingly. But yeah, acting kind of saved my life. It kind of helped me express myself, really communicate with others, make people laugh, and that was my ultimate goal. But when I kind of got into middle school, teenage years, that's when I kind of got into music. And I was,
right, because you said you were about 13, 14, something like that when you got in the hip hop scene?
Yeah, so when I was growing up, of course I'm in the car listening to music with my dad and stuff. And he would like the artists like Bruce Springsteen, the Beatles, Elvis, Johnny Cash, Cat Stevens, people like that. So I've always had an interest in music. And a fun fact too is my last semester at Worcester State, I took a whole class on the Beatles. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Beatles, but learning about the history and just what they did was just amazing and stuff like that. So just the history of music as a whole. But as far as the main genre that I'm mostly attracted to is hip hop. And when I was in middle school, I started listening to when we had the high school dances and stuff like that. That's when I started listening to all the mainstream music in the early 2000s, Kanye, Wayne, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, all those guys, when they were popping back in the early 2000s. But then when I was 15, I started listening to the local scene because I wanted to kind of be someone in hip hop artist, so I kind of started becoming a rapper. But shortly, I ended up being a SoundCloud rapper, which I was like, I kind of suck. I'm not really good at this. But then fast forward, after doing so many years of theater and being involved with the community with QCC with the theater club and stuff like that, being the president and stuff like that. I've done so many plays and stuff. But then when I graduated from QCC and went to Worcester State, the theater program was a little too strict there. So I've done stage crew and stuff like that there, but as far as getting parts there, it was just so hard. So I didn't know what to do to kind of use my time to be productive. So, and I always had the nickname Tanman, you have a bunch of nicknames that your parents or your relatives or people that surround you give you all kinds of nicknames, like funny nicknames. Like I had Tanner Banana, Ollie Pork Chop, like, you know, all these stages in my life, I had these different nicknames. But that one like cool nickname that I had consistently was Tanman. So when I went to Worcester State one day, and this was like the first few weeks of school, I was in the student center fiddling with my fingers, and I look across the way in the hallway, there's like a little booth with a soundboard and a couple mics, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is. So then I walk in and I talk to the guy that was at the time was the president of the radio club, and I was like, oh, this would be a good chance, because I only listen. I grew up on listening, like I said, Tia Diaz, that was Killer T back then, or 9 Mills, and I just knew all these rappers that I grew up with, and like that I went to school with and stuff. So I was like, maybe this is my time to utilize and really be involved with the hip hop community. So like, this is a perfect way to use my name, Tanman. And at the time too, when I would be hanging out with my friends all the time, I would always have a plan. So that's what made the full name, The Man with the Plan, Tanman. And the radio show I had back at Worcester State, shout out to Worcester State, was The Man with the Plan, Tanman, Hip Hop and More. I actually got 2 awards for Best Radio Show, which was cool. And then I actually got a Hall of Fame award, like an actual plaque they gave me at my ceremony, which was pretty cool.
And that was your first radio show when you got that, right?
Yeah, like that
That's
was
awesome.
like I legit got my first like Best Radio Show award like the first year I did that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Because
cool.
I feel like not for nothing, like everyone did their thing at the radio club, but everyone was treating it like a hobby or a curriculum, whereas like I was kind of looking at it more like a business way to like actually bring outside guests into the campus, like hip hop artists. I wrestled a couple. I interviewed a couple wrestlers, like independent wrestlers. I've interviewed. There's all kinds of people, mainly hip hop artists. And then a year later, after I started doing interviews, word got out of mouth, word to word, and then I started doing shows. And the first show I did probably was my best and worst show. It was at Spiritual Haze. I had 30 people perform. But I had it, they all performed, they all did their thing, and yeah, I learned a lot from that show. And ever since I did that, I just started doing more shows. And then over the years, when I've gotten more adapt to the hip hop community, I started doing more like within the hip hop community. Like I started doing a mixtape to host. It's called The Journey of Tanman. It's almost done, I swear. There's a couple music videos out there, you can check it out. It's called The Man with the Plan, Tanman. Tanman featuring Checks, 9 Mills,
Actually, yeah, I saw that on your Instagram feed,
Yep.
I believe. Yep.
So I do a lot of things. Like I just like acting, comedy, and hip hop. Those are the main 3 things. I'm also kind of starting a comedy rap project where it's like I'm not really rapping, but I'm kind of am like a skit rap, and then like I'm gonna have some features that are actually have actual rappers on it and make some funny verses. But that's coming up too. That will be called Not Tan Enough. So stay tuned for that. I already have the intro and video out. It's called Spray Tan. Go check that out. But also I got other things coming up too, multiple projects. Like I said, my next show I'm hosting is with my boy M Easy. Shout out to M Easy. That shit will be in Providence, Rhode Island, the Steady My Wave album release party. So stay tuned for that. You can check that flyer out and more information on my Instagram, The Man with the Plan, Tanman. And then I'm also, I got other ideas to kind of revamp my podcast and stuff, and talk more about the history of hip hop, called The Hip Hop Historian. And yeah, I mean, I've been on a couple movies as extras a couple times. I've been on television a couple times talking about this stuff. But a lot of people too is like, when they say, how did when you say motherfucker, how did that come up with? Or when they see me say, let me tell you something, how did that come up? It's like, well, one day when I started the mixtape, this was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I really started it, and I did my very first song with the homie, my homegirl, my sister, Kanani Perez. We did a song called Cut It Off, and of course, you know, I was trying to do it like a DJ Khaled way, and they were like, "Oh, what do you say a lot that would kind of introduce you into the intro?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she came up with the word, "You know what, Tanner? You say, 'Let me tell you something' a lot." And I'm like, "Really? Do I?" So then I tried it on intro, and I was like, "Yo, it's the man with the plantain, man. Let me tell you something, motherfuckers." And then she just goes in and do her thing. And that's what you hear in majority of the mixtape. And then I had a documentary that indicated with that, but that's no longer because the guy accidentally deleted the footage. But it happens. But it's, I'm still trying. I'm still going on this journey within, even with film, acting, hip hop, and more. I would say my biggest motivation is my friends and my disability, which is cerebral palsy, because I just want to prove people that if I can do it, you can do it, And a lot of people, especially with disabilities, gets discouraged a lot and stuff like that. And,
yeah, that's a good message.
One of my biggest supporters were like my first group of friends at QCC, and they were just they like supported me with everything. They helped me with ideas when I started off doing these hip hop shows. One person that really was my good close friend. She came up with like a lot of ideas and stuff with entertainment. Her name was Brandy. Unfortunately, she passed away last week, but this was like the 14th. But anyway, she was definitely one of my biggest supporters. So she will never be forgotten in my life for sure. So shout out to Brandy. But yeah, like Brandy, all my other friends, Kanani and stuff, they really kind of helped encouraging on who I really am inside of me, and like could really show who I am as a person and be myself. Because like growing up with a disability and stuff like that, it's just like I was always like nerd type, or I was like that guy that would never fit in. So when I did acting and stuff like that, that kind of really like got me going and really like kind of saved me. But like I really felt like I could express my whole self when I went to college, which was QCC, and that's when I was still into theater and stuff like that. But back to this hip hop shite. Yeah, hopefully I got some more going on. I do also got my first show I'm hosting at the Middle East in Boston or Cambridge area. That will be with Rex. That's gonna be a big show. That's August 18th. I'm holding it down, the man with the plan, Tanman. And yeah, hopefully I get some events. If y'all looking for a host, a hype man, you want me to host a mixtape, help promote, whatever, you can just follow me at all social media, the man with the plan, Tanman, and I'll follow you back. And yeah.
Everything but TikTok, right?
I got TikTok.
Oh, you do?
I got TikTok.
Oh, okay.
It's the man with the plan. I mean, I'm not as like creative as like all the other creatives, because I'm just focused on like extending my brand. But I think I got a couple skits coming up pretty soon. A lot of my friends, they actually they're big on TikTok. Shout out to my guy Corey the Bagel. He's been my best friend since day one. We came out of our mom's wombs. But anyways, my point with that, he got over 8 million followers on TikTok. He be making cameos and stuff, so shout out to him. I'm proud of him. But yeah, I like being funny. I like being creative, and I think that's what makes me. Because even with the acting and when I got into theater before, I just like it, because it's just like when you're on stage and stuff like that, and you always feel like a character too. So like even with me, it's like I feel like Tanman's a character different from Tanner,
Right.
Because Tanner's like that everyday dude that, the struggles and just struggles like everyone else. Whereas like when Tanman's on stage and stuff, it's like it's like that energy where it's like you're the man, you know what I'm saying? It's just like Tanman does more work than Tanner, put it like that way. He does all the networking, he does all the connections to say like Warak. He's the guy that's done stuff with Bazaar.
Yeah, you're everywhere.
Everywhere,
you really are.
Yeah,
you're absolutely everywhere.
I hosted a show for DJ Paul, which was amazing. And then that one and the Lord Banks would probably be my two biggest shows I ever hosted that I really enjoyed. But yeah,
you're a natural at it. It really just flows.
So like I've done it over the years. Like I've done it. So this would be my 10th year doing it. I'm 28. I started doing everything I just told you besides the acting since I was 18. So that's when I started doing the radio, promotion shows, all that. That was all when I was 18 years old. And
that's impressive, yeah.
You know, I've had some minor, you know, setbacks within shows where it's just like when you got a lot going on, you know, you might not put on the best presentation. But I feel like lately, you know, my confidence has been coming back. I've been feeling more like myself each day, and yeah, I think bigger and better things is be coming to me, and yeah, I just love to work with everybody too. It's like, as long as, you know, people got that good personality, that good style and stuff, and our energy matches, I'll work with you too.
Feel good vibes, yep.
Like I'm humble enough to give people chances and really like help them grow as not just people, but as artists and stuff too. And that's why I've just been also just, like I said earlier, just really branching out to like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. Hopefully I can get a couple shows in New York. I got some people calling me from Albany, Syracuse, and Brooklyn. So hopefully you'll see me in New York soon, and maybe New Jersey. We'll see, but that's my ultimate goal, is to be someone, maybe not just as Tanman, but as Tanner Gagnon in the entertainment field, because I feel like I can bring a message and a point to people and can really like guide people into encourage and motivating them to, doesn't matter if you're blue, you're a unicorn or anything like that, like you can do it. And as long as you hear those three words, just do it, then you move farther than you could ever think of, you know? And that's my motto.
I like it. But yeah, so yeah, everybody, you can follow Tanman. He posts all of his stuff. He is everywhere. So you can always find something to go to. If you're bored on a weekend, just go on his page. There's something going on.
And plus, if it's not my show, I always promote other shows.
Everybody
and
else
I'll
as well,
promote,
yeah.
Like that's my biggest thing. It's like if I
you show love.
Yeah, I really love hip hop and I really love music. So if I gravitate to your sound and music, I don't have a problem sharing your music and stuff. And it's like I'm not one of those guys that are in cliques or just like clicky and edgy and stuff like that. Like if I generally fuck with you, I generally fuck with you. I'll show you love, and whatever I say, it's meaningful.
It's genuine.
Yeah,
it's authentic.
It's genuine.
Yep.
It's authentic. So, but yeah, you can catch me on all social media, the man with the plan Tanman, including TikTok. You might be a little bored on my TikToks, but what I like to do on TikTok is just like do stupid videos on people's sounds or songs and stuff, just to promote it that way or something. But we'll see how that trend goes. But anyways, yeah, just follow me, the man with the plan Tanman. Here I am. I'll see you soon, hopefully soon, and be on the lookout for the movie Crazy Wabbit.
Well, thanks for coming out tonight.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Give it up for Shaquille Shabazz! Oh shit. Sin City, bitch. He's in the fucking building.